thank you, not so much just for this award, although I'm truly honored to receive it and to be here today. But thanks to all of you for all of the work and all of the support that everyone in this room has dedicated to the cause of justice. Thanks to all of you for choosing to donate some share of your power in the service of those who have none. So visibility. Visibility is a double-edged sword. Like many queer people, and I think trans people in particular, I've feared visibility for much of my life. After all, that's why the closet exists in the first place. It feels safer to hide behind this false self that you believe people will accept rather than be seen and to risk rejection and hatred and even violence. But at some point, you realize, I realized, that it isn't actually safer. Silence is dangerous. Invisibility is dangerous. Living a lie is not really living at all. And so eventually I make the decision, queer people make the decision to make our full selves visible to the world. But that visibility can still be terrifying. It was still something that I used to try and limit and still try to be, protected and hidden. Like the idea of a trans day of visibility was really kind of upsetting to me when I first transitioned. Like, weren't things hard enough already? Being a member of any underprivileged minority is a burden, and it can feel unfair to be asked to then take on the additional burden of representation and exposing yourself to those attacks of people who you already know hate you. But what I finally came to realize was that visibility is about something bigger than myself. Living visibly is my act of service to the rest of my community, who may have much larger obstacles to living their authentic lives than I've ever had to face. I know that all of the trans people I saw on TV or I met in person leading up to my coming out, they showed me that it was possible, that you could be openly and proudly trans and still lead a happy, successful life. And I know that my run on Jeopardy provided that same experience to other trans people, and it's just incredibly rewarding. And I think perhaps even more important is how much of an impact that visibility can have on those who are not part of my community. I think almost everyone who, like me, was raised in the 20th century grew up with the belief that trans women were deluded men, at best pathetic, and at worst, serial killers who were making women into skin suits, right? And that message was so pervasive in society that it's natural for everyone to believe it to be true, provided you're never presented with any evidence to the contrary. But all it takes is just getting to know a trans person, any trans person, and you see how laughably false those stereotypes really are. So, yeah. And so it turns out that simply being visible, just letting myself be seen as I truly am, has had far more impact and on far more people than I ever would have imagined. And so I just encourage everyone, bring your whole self to whatever it is you do. Whoever you are, whatever your identity, show it off to the world and don't let the ignorance and hate of others hold you back. Yeah. All you have to do, and all that any of us has to do, is simply to be ourselves. And it's so much more powerful than I ever used to know. And thank you.